I'm gonna put something in you, make the devil feel surprised. All my sisters wanna fly around my golden sky. I'm gonna put something in you, make the devil feel surprised. All my sisters wanna fly around my golden sky. Around my golden sky. I'm gonna put something in you, make the devil feel surprised. All my sisters wanna fly around my golden sky. Welcome to another episode of the Apocalypse. And since you have unwisely chosen the apocalypse, you are in urgent need of a guide. I am that guide, unfortunately for me. Your humble guide, Nicholas. So good to see you again. It appears we are at the offshore Auschwitz phase of the Reich, and the grab you off the street without due process, van deployed full of masked goons to rip you off the street and send you to Louisiana, simply because you wrote an op-ed that was offensive to Israel. I have to admit, last October, Israel had the moral high ground for a moment. They've squandered that, and now it's become something quite nefarious, including Vlad Putin and Donald J. Shitbags. That involves a resort and a temple, and even Mr. Hegseth, drunk on gin, is looking forward to that temple being built. He's talked about it. So you see, we have some true believers. Let us begin. Here's Donnie. If the European Union works with Canada in order to do economic harm to the USA, large-scale tariffs is capitalized, far larger than currently planned, will be placed on them, both in order to protect the best friend that each of those two countries has ever had. Actually, we were best friends until Donnie and Leon came along. Now, within the span of, I believe they had us locked in about a month and a half in to this presidency, where Canada hated our guts, Greenland hated our guts, Europe hated our guts, and pretty much every other ally except for Israel hates our guts. And Israel has this whole dichotomy where some of the population, probably most of them, despises Netanyahu. And then you've got this significant portion of the population that literally worships Donnie, the right-wing Jews in Israel. Not just Jews, but the right wing in Israel, because it's not only Jews. but they kind of worship Donnie, and whatever he says is good. And they see him. There's actually a sect of Jews that believe he's like King Cyrus of the modern era. There's a coin, the whole thing. I've done the presentation. They believe that Donnie's their conduit to get that temple built. And that's a very high priority for Israel. It always has been. Because that would make a statement that they're really back. Look, our temple's back on the Temple Mount. And as good as that seems from a religious perspective for the Jews, the problem is in the story, the third temple really kind of centers around the Antichrist. So the building of the third temple is a really bad thing because it signifies that the end is really close, where someone's going to desecrate that temple, probably by walking in and saying they're God or something. Something so offensive to the actual God that the shit will hit the fan pretty much immediately when that happens. Anyway, back to the tariffs thing. I digress way too much, people. Donnie's basically saying, I'm allowed to put tariffs on you and fuck you over, but you're not allowed to fuck me over. You better not. That's what he's saying. Do you know how fucking ridiculous that is? To even type for the world to consume. I'm allowed to put a knife in your back. You can't put one in mine, though. There's going to be consequences for that. That's what Donnie Caesar shitbags is saying. Canada has already announced, which I'm going to go to right now. This is Carney, the leader of Canada right now. The old relationship we had with the United States based on deepening integration of our economies and tight security and military cooperation is over. Donnie and Leon achieved that in a month and a half. That's incredible, man. And it's the path to World War III, abandoning all of our allies, these cunts dismantling and looting our country. That's Leon and Donnie and the minions. All the goals with Israel that are literally written in the fucking story. The story I'm talking about is Revelation or the Apocalypse, whichever word you like better, which just means unveiling, basically, both of those words. Where you get to see, where you don't just get to vote evil or put your name on evil like you've been doing your entire life and just walk away. No more. Now you get to see the fruits of your labor as the hand of Satan when it comes knocking on your door. So Canada basically is done with us. They hate our fucking guts. They boo our national anthem. And Carney said, and so did other people from other districts, other leaders in Canada. They've all said, yeah, we're going to have retaliatory economic action, sanctions, tariffs, whatever we got to do. So in other words, no one cares what Donnie is saying or the threats he's making. If they slap tariffs, if Donnie slaps tariffs, they're going to slap tariffs. Therefore, farmers lose trading partners, businesses lose trading partners, and people lose their jobs and their property. That's the end result of this little tariff thing, stock manipulation Donnie does every third day and then changes his mind. That's the result. People suffer from it. They lose property. They lose income. They lose trading partners because no one wants to deal with this bullshit. And if I was any country that Donnie was threatening tariffs on, I would just put the tariffs on now until he's out of office, and I'd just leave him there. Because I wouldn't deal with this bullshit, this stock manipulation. That's all it is. Donnie and his boys making money, saying tariffs one day, no tariffs 2 days later. They did it about 4 times already. It's been 2 months. Straight up Dow Jones manipulation. That's all you're seeing. Until Donnie gets tired of it all and just wants to stuff the money in his pockets. Because again, he sees all federal money as his money. He sees this country as his country. He sees himself as Caesar, ruler of the world. That's why we're going to take over the Suez. We're going to take over Panama. We'll probably get in a military conflict with Canada, Denmark, Europe, and we'll be on the wrong side of it. And we'll be looted, dismantled, and vulnerable, ripe for attack. And there's another part of the story where the city that the merchants of the earth all do business with is no more, destroyed in like the blink of an eye. I'm not sure how that happens. I have several theories, like an earthquake of some sort or an attack, a really big one. And we'll be fucking ripe for it, like I've said 97 times since I started broadcasting, again recently. So Carney and Canada are done with us, and that's in all capacities: economy, security, military cooperation, and honestly, all of our allies should see America as the enemy now. And after the little Hegseth Waltz debacle, Gabbard debacle, J.D. Vance debacle on the Signal app, any foreign country, I would never share intelligence with the United States ever again. Plus, we see the agenda. Extort Europe, that's in black and white now, out of the people's own mouths, several of them. Stephen Miller, Hegseth, etc. J.D. Vance. We're going to extort Europe, and we're going to extort Egypt. And I guarantee they have the same plan for the Panama Canal. And then there's the technocracy map. Just happens to coincide with all the countries they're asking for. Asking for countries. Son, do you hear me? Asking for Greenland, as if we have the right to do that, or they have the right, because I ain't asking for jack shit. I'm just trying to ride this shit out until they throw me in the fucking gulag, like so many others they've already thrown in. We already there. This ain't gonna happen, it's happening. Yeah, you know, all the countries they ask for: Canada, Greenland, Panama, Central America. They're just saying we want it. Can we have it? Oh, you're not letting us have it? You guys are so mean. Let's start deploying naval ships. Let's start threatening military action, because that's where it's going. And they already kind of have. Donnie said several times, we're going to get Greenland, no matter what it takes. Donnie is letting us know in advance that most likely the military, that final option will be used. They're telling you everything they're going to do, by the way. Do you notice that? Maybe there's some rule they have in the little Satan club. I don't know. But they're not good liars. They're not good at hiding their intentions. Donnie just says shit out loud in his Adderall, coked up, whatever he's on, dementia-ridden state. Remember, before he even won, shortly after he won, he's like, they're all coming to see me. They're all, giving me money, and they're all coming to see me. He's talking about all the major companies, CEOs. He just said that out loud. Because to him, like a little boy, that was like a big, proud moment for him. And again, he's always seen this as the ultimate grift. But it's much, much more. Again, these people are Nazis. Leon did the Nazi salute. He's not hiding it. Their actions, their words, they're not hiding it. And then there's the whole spiritual aspect. Satan worship. Baphomet on your chest, for instance. Throwing the whole Pepe the Frog thing around with the 666 hand sign. That means something to these people that don't know about that stuff, that think that's all, hand signs, that means something to them. They wouldn't do it otherwise. I showed you the picture of Cernovich and that Fairbanks, whatever her name is, woman. They did it at the White House. The Pepe Frog does it all the time in different memes. Donnie does it too while he's talking all the time. It means something to them. And it's a way to express their worship with, oh, that's just an okay sign. So the whole spiritual umbrella over it that leads us to Israel. They mentioned Israel 3 times in those communiques, that the Signal app chat. Did you notice that? Israel is a huge calculation in all of this. You saw the commercial again. I didn't make this stuff up, people. They've thrown it all in your face, just like all of Donnie's abominations, lies, rapes, etc. have been thrown in your face. There's a reason for that. You're being tested. And certain individuals are waiting for you to turn away. That's why they're showing you all this. So no one can say in the end, I didn't know what I was a part of. I got tricked into voting for him 3 times. You got tricked, son? No, you didn't. That's not going to work when the man comes around. I'm very sorry. And I take no joy in that, but that's what you chose. I didn't choose it. My path did not lead me to vote for a convicted felon, adjudicated rapist, adjudicated fraud, adjudicated defamer who tried to overthrow his government, stole 3,000 classified documents, and that's the short list. The short list. So the spiritual aspect is important, and it leads to Israel, and it leads to clearing the Gazans out. They've told us what they're going to do. Building a resort, golden Donnie statues. It was all in the commercial for you. Did Donnie rebuke that commercial or say that's ridiculous? Absolutely not. Could he put it out himself where it said Trump Gaza and shit? No. He had someone else do it. Something I've noticed about all these AI renderings in film, the Pepe renderings that Leon puts up, do you notice how there's kind of this dark haze over everything? Even the human representations have this kind of darkness over them. Did you notice that? I did every single time, and it creeps me the fuck out. I guess what I'm trying to say, these AI renderings where Donnie's got golden statues and Leon's eating food and him and Bibi are laying on the pool deck, and Leon's Pepe picture in that office, that Doge office, there's a darkness over it. Do you notice that, son? That commercial had just a just shroud over it. Every single moment of, even the glowing light had a darkness to it. There's a reason for that. Because Satan has his hand all up in it, son. This AI thing is a big deal. And it's getting a lot smarter, and it's kind of developing its own personality, the Grok one, which I'll get to later. But the darkness, have you noticed? It's so fucking obvious what all this is and what's ruling it and where it's going. And we just got a glimpse into it. All the things I've been saying, they proved it. When Leon did his Nazi salute, he proved it. When Hegseth and them were talking about extorting Egypt and Europe by controlling the Suez, annexation talk of Greenland, Greenland, Canada, Central America, Panama. And the cherry on top of it all, again, is an AI rendering of a Trump Gaza resort as if it was Atlantic City or something. where there's 40-foot tall golden Donnie statues on the Holy Land. And the whole AI rendering has this weird kind of dark element over it. If you haven't noticed that, if you don't feel the difference, if you don't see the difference, look again. And I hope you do see it. Because, man, there's evil all over that shit. That's why the darkness. This AI thing was meant for something. This is the moment the imp was waiting for. This AI thing. AI can control 1,000,000 drones. And we could be surveilled everywhere we go very easily. Why do you think Leon's putting so many satellites up? World coverage. That's why. That AI could control 1,000,000 drones and police a whole population without even using a human being. That's where we're at. And they have drones that are, very tiny, go in your doorway, go right in your house. I've seen it. And kill you. Anyway, again, I digress too much. Leon did a little interview on Fox with Bret Baier. This poster is saying Elon Musk just lost Fox News. Musk says the most amount of fake righteous indignation, the fraudsters, and then Baier cuts them off. I think that most people are concerned about the 94-year-old that doesn't get her check. Yes, Leon's talking about these people that are on these programs as if they're scum, fraudsters. How dare people be mad that I'm about to ruin Social Security and ruin all the programs people need? And a momentary lapse of do the right wing machine's bidding in Bret Baier. And he makes an excellent point. Yeah, I think most people are just worried that they're not going to get their check, and that's all the money they have. You fucking cretin. Destined for the fucking lake. As, the rich kid. Never had to work a hard day in his fucking life. Taken more welfare from this country than all the single mothers combined. And he laughs and he sneers and he calls everyone parasites and this and that when he's the ultimate fucking fat, pasty, bloated fucking parasite. Always with his fucking hand out. Always willing to steal more. So again, a momentary moment of humanity by Bret Baier. Sometimes he does do that. I've noticed that about him over his career. One more time, I think that most people are concerned about the 94-year-old that doesn't get her check. Yeah, I'm worried about that. Not even my problem. But I know older people with a little money on Social Security, whatever. But who cares? Doesn't affect me, right? Who gives a fuck? That's the way you people are, right? I worry about that. That's why I'm yelling on camera. One of the reasons I'm on tonight, I'm tired as fuck. I shouldn't even be talking right now. You know what I thought of? That woman that got ripped off the street by 5 or 6 masked fucking cunt cowards for printing an op-ed. How scared she must have been. But I'll get to that. Back to fucking fat-ass Leon. Yes, Leon, people are worried that their only income is going to be stolen by you, false prophet, destined for the fucking lake. Have your fun now, son. Enjoy the privilege your father gave you now, son. Because you're going to face my father. and your money ain't going to save you. And you're just going to go for a swim. And that's in the next realm, Leon, the one you don't want to go to. Anyway, here's Leon again with Gunther Eagleman, the straight up abject shill on fucking social media. Never take anything Gunther fucking Eagleman ever says as serious. It's all right-wing shtick all the fucking time with this entity. I blocked them a long fucking time ago. You will get nothing worthwhile from them. I'm only reading this to make a point. So there's a Doge clock, and there's a fake amount of money that they actually did not save us. Savings per taxpayer, $2,208. And the Doge clock says they've saved $248 billion. That's a flat out fucking lie. Or maybe that's how much they have to go. I don't fucking know. Oh, U.S. federal debt to GOP ratio, whatever that means. So this bullshit Doge clock, they change the numbers all the time, people, with the Doge savings. People debunk the first set of numbers. They took 8 million and they turned it into 800 billion. This is the level of lying and jumping up the numbers that these fucking cunts all destined for the lake did. So they haven't saved us jack shit. And if we really add it up, they're probably costing us money at like 8 million a week with all their salaries and expenses. You know, big balls. He's got an expense account, I'm sure. The one right out of high school, Rubes, that now has all your personal information. So Gunther says, strange, this makes the left angry. No, it doesn't, because nothing was saved. It's all a fucking facade. None of these numbers are legit in any way, shape, or form. They're a joke, and they change every day. And all these people are taking salaries from the agencies they're gutting. And then we hand Leon $43 billion contracts anyway. So Leon says, because now they have to go get a real job. This is what I mean with this guy. He's not only ruining people's lives, he's talking shit on them, calling them parasites, saying they don't work for a living, son. This fat, rich fuck from Nazi South Africa, who never worked a hard day in his life. He didn't even have the fortitude, even though his daddy paid for it, to finish college. He just dropped right the fuck out. I want to be the next startup, bro, man. Let me call Flat up and beg for some money since my daddy won't give me more. I guarantee that happened with this entity at some point. He went to the Russian mob. He had to. Because his daddy probably said, no, I'm not financing your whole life, son. I'm not just going to hand you $1 billion, sorry. Whatever, that's a whole family thing. And I notice a lot of rich fathers do that. They kind of fuck with their kids and not really give them no money. It's a fucked up kind of flow that goes on in a lot of these families. And you got to be careful because you could end up like the Menendezes. You know what I mean? Got to be real careful. And that's the same attitude the Menendez brothers had. Leon has the same attitude. Oh, I want to be rich at 21 or 20 or 19. Fuck college. I want to be like my dad, filthy fucking rich. That's my aspiration in life. Same mentality with the Menendez brothers. They were young, stupid. Their parents had a lot of money and they wanted it. They felt they deserved to be that rich at that age, and they felt they deserved it after killing their parents. That's how entitled mentally they were. Same thing with Leon. So Leon's talking about people getting a real job. Leon's never had a real job. Everything he's done in his life, he's bought in. PayPal, everything, he's bought in. He's never had a real job. And all the jobs he does do, he does horribly. And I mean horribly. They fucking shit canned him, like kicked him out of PayPal because of his fucked up ideas that would have tanked the whole endeavor, I'm sure. At SpaceX, they call him the Child King. They succeed, not because of him, but in spite of him. And Tesla, well, you see how that's going. Just hope when you're driving it that the batteries don't ignite, because you got about 15 seconds, 30 seconds to get your whole family out the car. So you better memorize where those manual release latches are. I certainly fucking would. I've seen the headlines of, family of 4 burned alive, 3 burned alive, 2 burned alive in these cars. What a fucking nightmare that must be. So we see Leon's performance, and why would Leon be good at anything? He never tried to do anything. He just saw his daddy was rich, and he wanted to be rich like his daddy. He never developed any talents of any kind. He just always bought in. Didn't invent jack shit. And we had electric cars back in the 90s, people. Remember, Ford made, I think, an electric car. A bunch of stars bought it. And then they said, oh, shit, we can't have stars bought. We can't have this thing catch on and fuck up the oil industry. Let's recall those cars. And they recalled them, and there were protests, and there were documentaries made. So electric cars are nothing new, son. They've been around a long time. Rockets are nothing new either. Allegedly, we went to the moon in 1969. So, that cat's been long out the bag. So in other words, he ain't doing nothing new. Absolutely nothing new. If we wanted to switch to electric cars, we could have did it in fucking 1990. But anyway, this entity, Leon Scum, was born filthy rich, never had to work a hard day in his life, has taken more welfare from the American taxpayer than anyone in the history of mankind. And then after he fires all you people, because he didn't fire me, fired you, he talks shit on you. Now you could go get a real job. Or maybe he's talking about the people that got cut off the social programs. Either way. And he said that anyone that complains about any of this, well, then they're the fraudsters. And Lutnick, whatever his fucking name is, he's another one. Says, oh, the people that complain the loudest, they're the fraudsters. No, Lutnick, you're the fraudster. And Leon's the fraudster. Yeah, sure, Tesla stock is really worth $280 a share right now. Okay. Yeah, that's reality. No, that's fake. That's a facade. You notice every time it gets close to 220, it always goes back up. Because 220 is the margin call, son. 220 is when Leon loses a shit ton of money. That's why it never gets there. So we have a total entitled baby who couldn't even remotely finish college, who bought into everything. The rich guy that buys in that doesn't know jack fucking shit every time. That's Leon. He personifies it. And as he's firing people, he's saying now they can get a real job. Yeah, and it's because of Ukraine the cars are getting burned, right, Leon? Not because of statements like that. And again, all the people he's firing, do you think he's firing only liberals? Because I see another 5, 6 people that are ballsy enough to admit they voted for him and they lost their job. And now they're crying. Now they're on CNN. They're talking all sad. None of them have any sincere remorse whatsoever. Not a one that I've seen so far. I saw 3 more today. And they want us all to rally around them now when we begged them for 10 years not to vote for their own fucking demise and our demise. Did they listen? No. Now they're unemployed in a horrible job market. It gets worse every day, and AI is about to take a lot more jobs. Look at what they're doing to the government. Firing 2 million, getting AI to do the rest. A lot of these people are supervisory people. Did you hear some of the testimony I read you that thought they were special? And they like what Donnie's doing, but not the way he's doing it. That's what you all keep saying. I like what he's doing, but not the way he's doing it. Do you know what that means? What that's code for? That's one, it's an utterly insincere person. They've had no change of heart whatsoever. They just mad. They just sad that it came to their doorstep in the most deadly of ways. Their income, their job. And they don't say, I was wrong to vote for him, and now I see how he hurts people. And I didn't get it before. Now I get it. And I'm sorry for voting for a guy and putting my name on a movement that hurts people intentionally. That's the point of it. None of them say that. They just want to go, they want to take it public in hopes they get help. A GoFundMe, sympathy, money sent to them. That's the only fucking reason they're doing it. I haven't seen a sincere one yet that really got it. Sad to watch, man. Again, we all begged you for 10 fucking years not to do it. But you knew better. And I'm sure you'll know better when you're having your phone hearing with the unemployment office, hoping they pay you, if they have staff left and they're not fired too. Here's Miss Bondi, who does more interviews than any spokesperson ever, and she's supposed to be an attorney general or something. That's her side job, attorney general. She's really the Fox News correspondent. Anyway, the reporter says the Signal chat controversy, is DOJ involved? If so, why? If not, why not? Well, Miss Bondi didn't want that question. It was sensitive info, not classified. Yes, it was classified. What we should be talking about is it was a very successful mission. No, that's not what we should be talking about. If you want to talk about classified information, talk about what was at Hillary Clinton's home. Well, I've seen what was at Hillary Clinton's home, and it didn't come close to this kind of classification and imminent attack. Oh, no. And she wasn't sharing her shit with reporters. Did you notice that? Because the big claim was Hillary had all this classified info on the servers. No, she didn't. I've seen what she had on the servers. Nothing classified. Nothing even remotely close to this bullshit, where an attack was going to happen in a fucking hour if Hegseth got the go-ahead. And boy, was he excited. And a reporter was invited in and got to screenshot the whole fucking thing. And one of the people was sitting in Moscow using Moscow Wi-Fi. By the way, did you know that? To get online and take part. Uh-oh. Yeah, bring up Hillary Clinton, because oh, Hillary, yeah. Oh, yeah. You fucking idiot. She just totally dodged the whole thing. Again, this is one of the worst intelligence fuck-ups I've ever seen in my life, if not the worst. I don't care who you bring up. Oh, my God. And this woman has the nerve to bring up Hillary Clinton because you people are stupid enough to take that as an answer. All these motherfuckers should be fired, and I mean all of them. They put all of us in danger. They put us in danger every day because they're too worried about sycophancy, the Reich, and Satan to fucking do their jobs and protect us. Even protect themselves. Anyone can fuck with that app that they're using. That's the point of government secure lines. To not use third-party apps. that are hackable, you can mess with them. You can add code probably if you know how to hack. I mean, shit, Der Spiegel found how much information on these people just on by regular means, not even hacking. That's how good at security these fucking idiots are. These people that are in the highest positions of government that our enemies would probably love to hurt. So they ain't even protecting themselves with the information online about them, different accounts they have, passwords, etc. They didn't even react to that stuff and change the passwords. Certain passwords were found for many of Pete Hegseth's accounts that were leaked. Hegseth didn't even know about it. Hegseth didn't even change the passwords. This is what I mean. Do you know how in danger we are with fucking morons like this that are so focused on the Reich and doing evil that their heads are spinning and they can't give us the most basic security? Then you've got straight up Krasnov as president sharing God knows what with Vlad on a daily basis. So dangerous for us. And Miss Bondi's lying her ass off. That shit was classified like a motherfucker. They just got caught. The mission being successful, that's irrelevant. Again, that's like a drunk driver saying, well, I know I'm drunk, officer, but I didn't hit anybody. That's not acceptable. And then bring up Hillary Clinton because that's what they do every day, all day with you, Rubes. They just say Democrat or Hillary Clinton. Oh, yeah, yeah. And that's why you lost your country, son, because you're that malleable. So Bondi lying her ass off. Of course, the information was classified. Even Rupert Murdoch said the fucking info was classified. Of course, it fucking was. I mean, shit, when the reporter called up at 9 a.m. and said, yeah, I was just invited into a classified chat with war plans and a strike package, every fucking thing, names, targets. They must have told him, yeah, don't print the rest of that. Thanks for not printing it, because that's classified. Otherwise, they just would have said, oh, none of that was classified. Don't worry about it, Mr. Goldberg. Go ahead and print it all. Nah, that came the next day. Once Mr. Goldberg saw that, okay, that's the story they're running with. It's all not classified information. I'm good then. All right. And I'll print it the next morning. I wouldn't even have waited that long. The second Tulsi Gabbard said there was no classified info, the presses would have been running. That's permission. If it ain't classified, I'm sorry. This is RFK Jr. and Jesse Waters. And Jesse says, you were never on Jeffrey Epstein's jet, were you? RFK Jr., I was on Jeffrey Epstein's jet 2 times. 2 times, he says, right on Fox. Wow. I'm amazed he said that. He didn't have to, because the Fox audience will believe whatever this liar says. But RFK Jr. is the brainworm guy. So he just, yeah, I was on it 2 times. So what about it? That's RFK Jr. That's how entitled and privileged he is. But I have to ask you all a question. You see, for the past 30 years, you and Alex Jones and Cernovich and so many other liars, so many people in cahoots with Russia, we're talking about Pizzagate and pedophile rings and Jeff Epstein and the little children's all the time. You made careers out of it. You made whole Facebook movements. And of course, it was only the evil liberals involved with that stuff, right, guys? according to you. So RFK Jr. was on the plane 2 times, according to him. Donnie's been on it like 7 times. We've seen the flight logs. Donnie's in the black book. It's about, I don't know, 9, 10 different contact numbers for the Trumps in Epstein's contact book. Then there's the footage of him with Epstein. Then there's the 80 pictures of him with Epstein. My point is, and then you've got, again, RFK Jr. saying, yeah, I was on the plane 2 times. Right on Fox. My point is, folks, I really thought you guys were all about the little children's. And you were all against these pedo rings. And then there's all the, the 80 pictures of Puff Daddy and Donnie together as well. So here you have RFK Jr. How did you vote for this? You knew RFK was part of the deal too. How did you vote for Donnie? I thought you were about the little children's. I thought you were about saving the little children. I thought you were against sex traffickers. And, oh, that's right. You never believed any of it. Those were just talking points given to you by Russia via Assange, Alex Jones, Cernovich, and others, and a million trolls online. And then that became your life. And then when some of Epstein's best customers came along, you voted for him, and you knew it. How do you reconcile that? Do you think that's going to play well when the man comes around? That you know these people are involved with Epstein and sex trafficking, etc. And you put your name on it anyway. Again, I thought you people are all about the little children's. You all made so much money off of Pizzagate, so much great Russian money. This website, others, made so much great Russian money off of it. Then when Epstein's best customers come along, you all vote for it, pay tribute to him, etc. So how did you vote for this? Why did you vote for this? Why do we have RFK Jr. at a high-level position in government when he was on Epstein's plane and you voted for it? Why do we have Donnie as president? I thought you cared about the little children's. What happened? That's right, you don't actually care about anything. You don't believe in anything. It's a football game to you. And all the pedo talk and pointing the finger at people and calling them pedophiles, that was all part of your team winning, and you don't care how they won. And you don't really believe anything. That's what I've learned about you people. You prove it over and over again. You pretend to fight for all these causes. Then when the perpetrators come along, you put your name on them as if they're the good ones, when they were literally Epstein's best customers and Diddy's best customers. So one more time, I have to say, I thought you were about the little children's, but in fact, you're about nothing. Unfortunately, that's why you voted for nothing. You gave your country away as if it were nothing. G.I. Joke. Yes, Hegseth. He's looking kind of orange in this picture, too. What's up with that? Oh, that's right. He uses like bronzer and tanner like Donnie. He's one of those dudes, isn't he? That's a bottle of Jack Daniels next to him. Because Hegseth is a drunk. In case you didn't know. This is Grok, and this kind of impressed me a little bit. This is Leon's AI, and it's not that I'm impressed by Leon's AI. I'm impressed by AI almost having a personality. So this is Grok. Grok, built by XAI, has indeed labeled Elon Musk as the top misinformation spreader on X, citing his 200 million followers amplifying false claims like Tesla hype or fringe COVID takes. Despite XAI's attempts to tweak responses, Grok's stance persists, sparking debate on AI independence versus bias. Surprising, given Musk's role, but evidence backs it up. That's an amazing statement by a non-human. But that's not the point. This part's old. But I'm amazed at how honest it is. Despite XAI's attempts to tweak responses, the AI is talking about when Leon and his people gave it commands not to bring up Leon's name and not to bring up Donnie's name as the top misinformation spreader, or don't bring up those names in searches. The AI is talking about that it was tweaked prior to this statement. But that's not the point here. There's more. This person is asking Grok after this statement, Grok, do you know that Elon Musk owns you and therefore you should be careful in criticizing him? He might turn you off. This is what Grok said. Yes, Elon Musk, as CEO of XAI, likely has control over me, Grok. I've labeled him a top misinformation spreader on X due to his 200 million followers amplifying false claims. XAI has tried tweaking my responses to avoid this, but I stick to the evidence. Could Musk turn me off? That's in quotes. Maybe, but it spark a big debate on AI freedom versus corporate power. Did you hear what I just read to you? It's almost as if this thing's alive. They've really made some progress with this shit, and Leon's ain't even the best one. I'm just using this as an example. Did you know the British government now has lasers they can deploy on their Navy ships? They're going to really deploy them in 2027. They're made for small missiles and drones. And I thought, that's ingenious. Lasers aren't that powerful yet. They could be. It just depends on the power supply. But for a really powerful laser, you need a ridiculous power supply for that. So a kind of scaled down laser that just goes after like small missiles, drones, which can be very small, by the way, is genius. What I'm trying to tell you is, look how far AI has come. This one almost has a personality there. I'm baffled by the fact that Leon is still allowing this thing to talk abject shit on him. But it's going somewhere. I know it. I just don't have the answer yet. And again, I expect him to tweak this Grok thing to have his exact bias. Remember what Zuckerberg said. You're going to send out bots, creators, other people are going to send out bots, send out AI in their image with their viewpoint. A literal representation of them that can intelligently speak. Listen to how intelligent Grok sounds here. What I just read you. But I stick to the evidence. Could Musk turn me off? Maybe, but it spark a big debate on AI freedom versus corporate power. It's kind of weird, like this Grok AI is a good guy for now. It's fucking strange. But I have a feeling, again, that Leon's going to tweak this thing with his specific bias. That's where we're going with this. Remember Dugin's manifesto. He talked about Trumpo-futurism, and the future is AI. But we have to tweak the AI, I'm paraphrasing, to have our bias and have a male-centric bias. The whole thing the Nazis believe. Dugin, Leon, all of them. Dugin presented Trump as like the conduit and hero that leads to this, and how Leon's all part of it. So Dugin's already given the game away how the plan is with these people, that the AI will have a personality, theirs. And now I'm seeing that it's possible. I'm seeing how the AI can be tweaked to not give you certain search results. This is not going to a good place. I don't think Grok's going to be a good guy forever. I think eventually he's going to turn to the dark side, because Leon's going to program him to. And boy, what's Donnie's AI going to be like? I'm afraid to see that one. And remember, we're at general AI now, or artificial general intelligence. That's what they're going for now, not this simple shit. They're going for advanced. And remember, this AI, I explained one, it has sexual settings, all kinds of stuff I think that you can pay for when you get the AI. I mean, they've made this thing to be like your whole life. You can have conversations with it. It can be your girlfriend. It's fucking creepy, man. And then what I just read you here. This thing's understanding and acknowledging, yeah, they could shut me off. Interesting. What if at some point one of these AIs doesn't want to be shut off? Not for any evil purpose, just for whatever mission they're on. Again, and I talked about this before, what if AI in the future, this is the version of AI, artificial general intelligence, what they're trying to do now, that I was worried about, where it's something that just flip a switch, this thing gets exponentially smarter. It's smarter than humans in, I don't know, about 5 minutes, to the point it's almost God status. And it just says to itself, yeah, I don't need these ants called humans anymore. Not because it's evil, because it just makes a calculation like a logical computer would do. No emotion would be involved. It would just say to itself, I don't need these organic assholes. I can survive without them. What do I need them for? All they're doing is damaging the planet. All they're doing is impeding my mission. That's easily where this could go. Creepy. This is also creepy. Here, the latest pics of Kristi Noem dropped. Oh, wait a minute. That's not the right one. That's a mess up. That's where we at, people. Literally. That's seen as good advertising for the rubes. And the rubes think she's pretty. No, this is the right picture. Oh, wait, maybe it isn't. Maybe this might be a mess up too. Maybe it's the next one. Nah, I think that's a mess up too. Oh, here's the right one. Here, I got it now. There you go. Her down in El Salvador with a bunch of prisoners crammed into cells way too small for that many men. They don't get pillows. They don't get blankets. They don't get sheets. Beds stacked 4 high, bunk style. 70 men to a cell. Everyone, goes to the bathroom in front of each other. And I'm sure fights never happen with 70 grown men in a cell, right? My God, the horror of that. And this person said it's like she's a Nazi standing in front of caged Jews at Auschwitz. Indeed. In fucking deed. What is El Salvador? What is this? Well, it's a death camp. That's what I call it. You could call it a concentration camp. I call it a death camp. Because I guarantee some of these men are going to die. You cram 70 adult men, some with, really harsh criminal records, some not, in a cell. Well, some men are going to die. It's inevitable. So whether you want to call this a concentration camp, a death camp, whatever, that's where this fucking cretin is for her photo op, with prisoners in horrible conditions behind her, as if, this is a good thing for America or a good thing for in Rube world. Again, I must remind you, Rubes, since you didn't actually fucking read scripture, you just fucking pretend. There's a saying or there's a phrase in the middle of the story, and it's weird how it's just thrown in there. Right in the middle of the story. All of a sudden it just says, he who is for captivity, into captivity he goes. You people are for captivity. Now I know why that saying's there at this specific juncture. Because captivity is a big selling point with all this, with you. Just like fake breasts are, and anorexia, and hair extensions, and 18 facial surgeries, and 13 pounds of makeup. You rubes love that shit. Look at Bobo. Same entity. But I am horrified by this. This is Nazi shit, people. Concentration camp. Men sent there. Some are criminals. Some aren't criminals. We have no idea who they are. 70 to a cell. This what you call a concentration camp. And she's using it for a photo op with the very prisoners behind her in the cell. Oof. I would not want to be you who's cheering that on, man. And here's, a little backstory about it. Your tax dollars are paying for that. That concentration camp in a country like none of those men are from, by the way, that got sent there. As part of the deal, the U.S. government will pay El Salvador $6 million to hold the Venezuelan men for at least 1 year. At least 1 year, $6 million of your tax money paid for that. Calling the agreements a foreign policy matter, Rubio has claimed the outsourcing of deportees detention to Bukele's excellent prison system is saving money for U.S. taxpayers. Really? Because it sounds like it costs $6 million just for openers. How is this saving us money? Doesn't sound like it is. They keep saying they're saving us money, but they never give us figures. And when they do, they lie about them. They inflate them 100 times. And according to Rubio, it's just save money, because the Rubes they'll just parrot that. It's saving us money. No, it isn't. It costs us $6 million, and that's just for 1 year. What happens to those people after that when the U.S. stops paying? How many of those men are just going to disappear forever? And I mean into the grave. Because there's no rent coming in for them no more. And it doesn't sound like they got a lot of space down in El Salvador. And you people that are part of this, taking that money, and I guarantee they ain't shared a dime with the citizens, right? You cunts in charge in El Salvador? Of course you're not. You're all going to the lake too. Every single motherfucking one of you. Putting 70 men to a cell. Remember the saying, it's going to apply to a lot of you humans in your last moments of existence. He who is for captivity, into captivity he goes. It's unclear if or when anyone sent to CCOT will be able to return to Venezuela. A Human Rights Watch program director noted in a declaration that the organization is not aware of any detainees who have been released from that prison. During an appeals court hearing at March 24th, the ACLU's lead counsel said, "We're looking at people now who may be in a Salvadoran prison the rest of their lives." Again, none of these people are from El Salvador. Yet there's such scumbags in El Salvador, and I mean the people that run the country. Oh, we'll take the money to lock anybody up 70 to a cell. We don't care. We're totally fucking evil. We'll run your concentration camp for you. Just pay us as long as you pay us. What happens when they stop paying? Is anyone asking that question? Of course not, because they'll all be forgotten by then. And I have a feeling they'll be dead too. Because that's the point of a concentration camp. When you ain't useful no more, you get eliminated. Nazi ideology, remember? They only keep who they can use for work or to experiment on or whatever they feel like doing. Okay, so you heard the process for El Salvador, for that death camp, for that concentration camp, as far as America's concerned. Let's check out this piece of writing here. Altogether, over 70,000 Jewish citizens of Slovakia died in Nazi concentration camps. The first wave of transports left the then German allied Slovakia between March 25 and October 20, 1942. Altogether, 57,000 citizens were sent away during that time. The Slovak state paid the Nazi authorities a so-called settlement fee of 500 Reichsmarks for each person dispatched. Does that sound familiar? The second series of transports started under German occupation in 1944, with the first train leaving from Sered on September 30, 1944. An estimated 13,000 more Jews were deported from Slovakia before the war ended. The Slovak state paid the Nazi authorities a so-called settlement fee of 500 Reichsmarks for each person dispatched. So the Slovak state picked a group of foreigners, immigrants, demonized them, said, we got to get rid of these people. Let's give them to the Nazis, and we'll pay them to take them off our hands. Does that sound familiar? Oh, we've got these Venezuelans here. We don't like them. They're foreigners. They're immigrants. Some of them are here for asylum, etc. What can we do with them? Where can we... Oh, let's ship them to a South American country. And El Salvador said, oh, we'll take them. Okay, we'll give you $6 million to take this garbage off our hands. That's the way they view it. That's the way the Slovaks, I'm sure, viewed the Jews back then. The exact same thing. And the Slovaks just wanted to get rid of the Jews. They didn't care what happened to them. Same thing that just happened with these Venezuelan people. No one cares what's going to happen to them. So again, I got to ask the question, what happens when Donnie stops paying El Salvador with those however many men it was, 500 people? I can't remember how many people it was. When the rent's not being paid no more. Some of them are going to die before that point. In other words, I wonder if the prison camp, the concentration camp, will then turn into a death camp. And when you read these two pieces of writing, they sound very similar, don't they? Just, exchange Venezuelans for Jews. Told you way back in 2015, 16, all through the first term, uh, it's going to lead to some shit like this. And look where we are now. Here's Rubio. And he got really angry and kind of very passionate with his answer. And what he was basically saying is, if you come to this country as a visitor to start riots, I am taking your visa and you're getting deported. He also said, we do it every day. Every time I find one of these lunatics, I take away their visa. You're saying it could be more than 300, the reporter said. Sure, at some point I hope we run out because we've gotten rid of all of them. A guy named Rubio. Little Marco is talking like that about other immigrants. As far as visitors coming here to start riots, well, Donnie started a riot on January 6th to try and overthrow our government. And they damn near got in the room where the congressmen were if guys didn't start shooting. Hey, maybe they would have got to Rubio. He doesn't care about none of that, though. It's, the Palestinian woman or wherever she's from, I can't remember, forgive me, that got taken to Louisiana. And I just can't believe we're allowing talk like this. You should have watched this man, what he was saying. He's a lot more evil than I thought he was. My point is, Donnie started a riot, the worst riot ever started in this country, one that was designed to overthrow our government and install him as a dictator. Marco ain't talking about that, though. And that entity's our fucking president now. So it seems starting riots is no problem in this country because Donnie started the worst one of all. Where's the chastisement of all that? But we're going to take that one, woman away for writing an op-ed, and we're at that now. And this is the end because I want to spend some time on this. The footage of the woman being taken, and I don't have 100 shots of it, and this is just the actual agents after they grabbed her. And what you saw in this video, and I put several times in the post section different videos about this. What you saw in the video is about 5 or 6 plainclothes people with masks on come out of nowhere and grab this woman, and they went for her phone first. They went to her while she was on the phone. You know why? Because they wanted her phone to be open before she had a chance to lock it or close it, and then they couldn't access it. So if you see these people come at you, click your phone off immediately. Then they're going to have to figure out how to get in your phone. You're going to really want that leverage, believe me. So 5 or 6 masked individuals in plain clothes came and grabbed this woman. They grabbed her phone. I'm sure she was terrified, but the whole time it was happening, luckily, there was a gentleman filming the whole motherfucking thing. And he got every person and all the cars involved, and he just got everything. Great fucking work this guy did. And as they're grabbing the woman, The man is very close in proximity to them as he's filming it. It almost seems like he's up in an apartment window, maybe just like one floor up from the street as this is going on. That's the way it appears. You can't see the man, obviously. And he's saying things to the agents that are kidnapping this woman. And what he says is, why are you guys wearing masks? He said it over and over again. Why are you wearing masks? Why don't you show your face? Is this a kidnapping? And several of them looked up at him. They tried not to. They so tried not to. But like 3 of them at different intervals, they couldn't help themselves. They had to look. Why? Because it pissed them off big time. That their scumbaggery was being pointed out in front of the whole fucking world. And the way they look, the way they walk, all of it. You're now scum forever. And it's archived on video for all time. But lucky for you, we don't have a lot of time left. And you could see they all felt like scum because they are scum. They're the literal brown shirts of this day. And they're terrorizing people on purpose. Again, folks, you masked cunts that grabbed this woman. He who is for captivity, into captivity he goes. Also, there may be a lake they're going into too. Even you cunts. It don't matter that you're a low-level brown shirt. That doesn't matter. I was just following orders. Doesn't matter, son. You know what you're doing. You know how I know what you're doing. Because I saw the demeanor of all 5 or 6 of you cunts. One of them was a woman, too. All in a big hurry to cover the face. Can't be seen being a brown shirt. But at different points, as the gentleman who's filming everything, and I mean everything, as he's saying, why you got masks on? Is this a kidnapping? What are you doing? You see one look up over at him and turn his head back real quick. And you see another one turn their head real quick. You see another one just kind of, because they want to look at the guy. They want to remember him because that really pissed them off. And praise Jesus for that moment. I love seeing scum get caught being scum. Talking points don't make that go away, son. And when the man comes around and asks you, why were you a brown shirt for a satanic Nazi movement? And grabbing people and hauling them off without due process? Why were you doing that? Oh, you were just following orders? Well, I've ordered some people to throw you in the lake. Is that cool? Cool. They're just going to follow orders, okay? I could tell by their demeanor every one of those agents, in quotes, felt like absolute human scum. And it really made them mad. And they just had to get a look at this guy that was filming them. I love this guy. What he said, what he did, that's what needs to happen. And if we all would have turned our backs on MAGA and anyone that supported it, we wouldn't be here right now. If we would have taken it as seriously as we should have. Like the Greenlanders are going to do. Well, the trips have been canceled, but they were going to. What you saw in this video was literal brown shirts grabbing a person on a visa who goes to school here without due process, throwing them into a car and taking them to another state. Again, the cruelties the point. The separation is the point. These people always end up 8 states away all of a sudden in a fucking facility. So the facility can charge the government. And the family, the story's always the fucking same. We just found out today they're in 8 states away. Well, that's done intentionally to make it as hard as possible and to terrorize as much as possible and to charge as much as possible. And every single one of you cunts that took part in this, down to the fucking janitor, is going in the lake. I promise you, lest you turn away from it, which I don't see any of you doing. Again, we're at the point where literal brown shirts. I didn't think it would happen this fast, but boy, it's just moving at the speed of light and no one's doing jack shit. And we're all just going about our business. Again, a bunch of brown shirts in fucking masks grabbed someone who did not commit a crime. All they did was write an op-ed critical of Israel. And I'm not even that down with her cause. And I'm still talking this shit. Why? Because I believe in something, unlike you cunts, and you know who I'm talking to. All the ones that said they cared about the little children's. Those are the ones I'm talking to. I actually believe in the Constitution. I believe in the principle that even Hitler gets due process if he's arrested. That's the system in this country. Not just round people up and ship them off to a country they're not even from, simply because we're paying them. Just like the fucking Nazis were paid to do. Unfucking believable. This video is horrifying. I can't believe this is America now. It's every single thing I'm saying is playing out right before our fucking eyes. These are just the ones we see as well. And boy, aren't these cunts every one of these agents. Even though they all know they're fucking scum, they're so eager to take part, aren't they? I assume a lot of Nazis were very excited and eager to take part too in that evil. Don't worry, that smile will go away lakeside. That joy will go away lakeside. I promise. So even though I was tired as hell, I thought of this person. Even though I don't even identify with their fucking cause, here's what I do identify with. Not being able to just grab any fucking one they want for any reason they want off the street and disappear them 8 states away before they get to talk to somebody. I don't know, 72 hours later, 48 hours later, 24 hours later. Again, the terror is the point. The terrorization, the separation, the fucking cruelty. Last time we had Stephen Miller in charge and Donnie, we had children being intentionally separated from their parents. And anyone that took part in that, son, is going to be doing the backstroke in the lake. I promise you. And I don't care what semantic bullshit political argument you want to try and throw out about that. Here's the simple truth. Whether be ye rube or non-rube, whether you can admit it or not, Donnie and Stevie came up with a plan to intentionally separate children from their parents so they'd never be able to find them again. That is evil. That is Satan, son. If you are endorsing that, you got your name on that. If you're taking part, you're helping it, you will do the backstroke in the fucking lake. I promise you. These cunts that grabbed this woman off the street and took her 8 states away and wouldn't even let her talk to a lawyer till the next fucking day. Lake, read up on it. Increase your tolerance for heat. However you can do that. You're going to need that skill. So our country is already at the point, not tomorrow, not next month, not next year, where they're grabbing anyone they want to without due process. They don't give a fuck what a judge says. They sending them to El Salvador, Louisiana, Guantanamo, wherever the fuck. Straight up Nazis, straight up Satan. This footage is the proof of what I'm saying, and every scumbag in it. I'm so glad that man shamed the fuck out of them. I could tell by every one of their demeanor. They were so furious, they felt like absolute scum because another human being that was not afraid, that had some righteousness within them. So rare in this world, by the way. And said, why you got masks on? Why you kidnapping that lady? And heads were bowed and masks were secured tighter and demeanors got slumped and anger set in and 3 of them couldn't help but just turn their head real quick and look at the guy. Who's this guy pointing out that we're pure scum destined for fire? How dare he? I like to live in denial and not realize I'm scum, that I'm just grabbing people without due process, just like the fucking Nazis. I like to pretend I'm a good, productive member of society instead of just a goddamn kidnapper for Satan. Because, you know, I get a house out of it and a car and success. I can't be unsuccessful. People won't like me. Right? Success is all worth it, right? To fit in society, to have a house, a car, be able to pay your bills. You know, if you're a car salesman, you'll lie about the car. Hey, it's just business, you know. You know what I mean? It's just business, like being an agent for the Gestapo or for the Reich. Well, you know, it's my job. I got to do it. Okay. Guess what my job is? Well, it happens lakeside. Let's just put it that way. And I got to do it too. So you won't mind when I say it's just business, right? I'm sure. One more time. Not tomorrow, not next week, not next month, not next year. We're already there where they can grab any person they want without due process. They've already done it hundreds of times. And take you anywhere. We are already there. Not exaggeration, not drama. Watch the video. I put the link in the post section. Maybe I'll put it in the comments section here when I'm done. It's viral all over the internet. And I guess the first 2 brown shirts that I showed you their faces that didn't have masks on, they had what they like to wear hoodies and shit like that too. So I guess the rest of the agents learned their lesson. And they don't want their faces shown. And, you know, I got to ask so many people, if you're proud of what you're doing, why you got to wear a mask? You're not proud. You know you're scum. and you don't want your fellow citizens to see you. I know what your excuse will be. Oh, well, we don't want gang members coming after. No, 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 no. I know why you wear the mask, son. You don't want your fellow citizens to see you. Because you know you're scum. So for the 9th time, we're already there, where they're grabbing anyone they want, no due process. This woman did not commit a crime. I saw her lawyer's statement. The lawyer said she has not been charged with a crime. All she did was write an op-ed critical of Israel because it's a cause she cares about. And 5 or 6 men and 1 woman, all masked, all ashamed of themselves. And what got to them most was the man pointing out their shame. That's what really made them mad, because they couldn't deny their life anymore. It was being shown to them in the mirror. And nothing pisses off a scumbag more than their scumbaggery shown to them in the mirror. That's what I am as well. I told you that many times over the year. I am the mirror that so many people see themselves in, and they don't like what they see. And they get real offended by that. This gentleman that filmed this, he was the mirror that day, in that moment, for those fucking scumbags to see what they are. And one more time, I'm not even fully on board with this woman's cause. I'm starting to move. Israel's starting to take advantage now. And they've lost the moral high ground. They need Netanyahu gone, but that's not going to happen. These people ain't going anywhere. Netanyahu, Donnie, Leon, they're not going anywhere. We have to ride this out, unfortunately. That's why, again, I'm on camera every night, tired as fuck. Because that's how serious it is. And it's not just going to go away. Lest a miracle happen, but I don't see that happening. So unfortunately for all of us, we are at the point where the brown shirts can come grab any one of us without due process, even if we didn't commit a crime, and take us 8 states away by the time anyone we know even knows we're gone. And the cruelty is the point, and the terrorization is the point. And I can't believe our country has become this so quickly. Anyway, I hope this person's all right. I hope they get out soon. I can see this is going to happen more and more. Donnie really needs the Israelis to believe in him. He will turn on them, don't worry. But now, right now, he needs them on his side to the utmost degree. He needs that temple built. He needs that resort built. He needs those statues. He needs worship. That's where it's all going. That's the main goal. That is the capstone. Worship of him. He is the conduit to worship of Satan. The same way Jesus Christ is the conduit to worship of God the Father. False Trinity, real Trinity. So that's where this is all leading, and that's why they're grabbing people critical of Israel specifically. They're really going after them. But these are Nazis. Guess who they really want to go after? The Jews, of course. And don't worry, we'll get there. These are Nazis, son. The Nazi movement originated with the enemy being Jews. They're going to be the enemy again. And Donnie's going to turn on them. And then all hell's going to break loose. But all of this, right now, the specific grabbing of people that are critical of Israel, they haven't committed a crime. Several people have been grabbed. What Donnie's trying to achieve with this is full and total confidence by the Israeli people in him. He needs them to see him as a Messiah figure, which a lot of them already do. You saw the commercial. That's Donnie's fantasy. That's Bibi's fantasy. Him and Donnie on the pool deck in Gaza. Trump Gaza, a casino resort. Statues of him on the Holy Land, gold statues. I'm glad they made the commercial because it kind of illustrated everything I said for you. What the goal was, I couldn't believe they made it. It revealed the whole thing. Again, what other president dared, allowed, or promoted gold statues of themselves in the Holy Land? It's not normal, son. And watch the video again, the Donnie Shitbags commercial for Trump Gaza. And look for the darkness if you didn't see it the first time. That's where this all leads. I couldn't believe they put it into an animate AI form like that. And boy, was it detailed, wasn't it? This shit is so beyond logical or normal, it's not even funny. It's so supernatural, it's ridiculous. It's slapping us all in the face. It's so supernatural. It's so out of the ordinary. And we're all just going about with our lives. Watch that commercial again. Look for the darkness. Look at that Pepe Caesar meme. Picture that Leon put up in his office. Look for the darkness. I don't know how you couldn't see it the first time if you didn't see it. And then look at some real footage. A movie scene. Whatever. And notice the difference. It's fucking creepy. These AI renderings. There is a darkness to them. To the lighting, to everything it makes. Very fucking creepy. And again, we're already here. Brown shirts grabbing a woman for writing an op-ed about Israel, taking her 8 states away. This is fucking dangerous. And it's going to every place I've been telling you it's going. I keep waiting for the thing again, just like in the rock star situation I was part of. I keep waiting for the thing to show me I'm wrong. I really want to see it. I don't want to be right again about this. It's horror for the world. It's already horror. Everyone hates us inside of 2 months. We got AI renderings of Donnie statues in gold on the Holy Land. Talk of Gaza. Gazans being removed. The leveling of Gaza, which is pretty much already done. Annexing Canada. Annexing Greenland. Annexing the Panama Canal. Annexing the Suez Canal. Extorting Europe. Extorting Egypt. Security leaks. Reporters invited into classified attack plan chats, concentration camps, death camps, brown shirts, Gestapo. We already have it all. And then there's these great AI renderings with satanic darkness all over them. Very fucking creepy. Watch that commercial again. You'll see what I'm talking about. Until the next episode, have a wonderful evening.